Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Mayank Chok, cloud and AI architect with over 20 years of experience building production systems, including Gen AI deployments at major nations. Today, I am going to share something I wish someone had given me when I started building RAG and agentic AI system. 10 prompt pattern that actually work in production. And I don't mean vague tip like be specific, give me the model context. I'm talking about actual copy paste prompts template that real before and after comparison, showing you exactly what changes and why it matters. Here is the thing, most RAG tutorials show you the retrieval part and then just say now pass the chunk LLM. That's where 90% of production failure happen. The prompting layer is the missing piece. So let's dive in. I have organized these 10 patterns into 3 tiers. Foundation pattern that get your RAG working correctly, agentic routing pattern that make it intelligent, and production pattern that make it enterprise ready. So save this video, bookmark, come back to it when you are building, because every single prompt template you see today is something you can copy and use immediately. Let me hit you with some number that should make you uncomfortable if you are building RAG right now. 73% of enterprise RAGs projects stall at proof of concept stage. They work in demos. They look great in the boardroom presentation and then they completely fall apart when real users asking real question. I have seen this happen over and over again. But here is the good news. Teams that use structured prompting patterns see roughly a 4x improvement in answer quality. Not a 10% improvement, 4 times better. And today I am giving you 10 of these patterns, not from academic papers, not from blog posts, from actual production systems I have helped build and deploy. Now look at the bottom of the slide. On the left, you see what most do. Summarize this document. That's it. That's the entire prompt, and then they wonder why the model hallucinates, misses key information, or gives inconsistent answer. On the right, you see what production looks like. A structured prompt with a context window architecture, explicitly grounding rules and define output schema. The difference between a demo and production isn't it model you choose. GPT-4, Claude, Llama, they all struggle with bad prompts and they all shine with good ones. The difference is prompting architecture. So let's start building that architecture. Pattern number 1. All right, pattern number 1, and this is the foundation that everything else build on. I call it the context window architect. Here is the problem. When you do RAG retrieval, you get back a bunch of text chunks. Most developers just concatenate them into one big string and pass it to the model with simple instructions like here are some documents, answer the question. And the model does it best. But it doesn't know which chunk is most important. It doesn't know if two chunks are concatenating each other. It doesn't know if chunks number 3 is from 2024-2026 policy update that overrides the 2024-2022 versions in chunks number 1. So what is the fix? You give the context structure. Look at the prompt template. First, every chunk get wrapped with metadata, the source name, the page number, and the crucial, the relevance score from your retrieval system. This is information your vector database already has, but most people throw it away before it reaches to the LLM. Second, you add explicit rules. Rule number 1, only use information from the provided context. This is your first line of defense against hallucination. Rule number 2, if source conflict, prefer the higher relevance score. This is huge. Without this rule, the model just pick whichever chunk is encounter. Last in the context window due to recency bias. Rule 3, if the answer isn't it in the context, say so. Don't make something up. And rule 4, cite your source so the user can verify. Look at the before and after of the bottom. The before is line, the after is a structure architecture that tells the model exactly how to behave. This single pattern will probably fix 50% of your RAG quality issues. I am not exaggerating or overemphasize. In Azure AI search, your search result already return relevance score. Just pass them through the prompt. It costs you nothing extra. Pattern number 2 is one of the most favorite of mine. I call it the hallucination firewall, and it's the single most effective technique I know for reducing hallucinations in RAG systems. Here is what most people do. They tell the model be accurate or only use the provided documents, and that helps a little, but the model is still generating text token by token, and once it starts going down a wrong path, it keeps going. It doesn't stop and check itself. This pattern forces it to check. Look at the anti hallucination protocol in the middle before the model includes any fact in its response. It has to do three things. First, locate the exact sentence in the context that supports this claim. Not vague, it's somewhere in there. The exact sentence. Second, if it cannot find a supporting sentence, it must not include the fact. Third, it has a mark its confidence level. High means it's directly quoting the score source. Medium means it's a reasonable inference, and low means it's partial match. Now here is the clever part. Look at the output format. There is an answer block, which is what the answer sees, and there is a verification block which maps every single claim to its source with a single confidence rating. You might ask, do user need to see the verification block? No. In production, you can stripe it out before returning the response, but the act of the generating it, the act of making the model think through each claim dramatically improve accuracy. It is like asking a student to show their work on math test. The answer gets better when they have to justify each step. In production deployments, this pattern alone reduce hallucination rate by 60 to 80%. That's not a typo. The key is that it converts a single pass generation into a two pass process. Generate, then verify. If you are using OpenAI, combine this with Azure AI Content Safety for an extra layer of production. Let me show you pattern 3. Pattern 3 tackle one of the hardest problem in RAG. Question that require information from multiple documents to answer. Let me give you a real example. A user asks, does our health insurance policy cover physiotherapy or for sports injuries? And if so, what is the annual limit, and do I need a referral? That's actually three sub questions packed into one. The answer might be spread across the journal policy document, the coverage limit table, and referral requirement section. If you just stuff all the chunks into prompts and say answer this, the model often grabs the first relevant thing it finds and calls it a day. That might tell you yes, physiotherapy is covered, but completely miss the annual limit for or the referral requirement. The multi-hop reasoning chain fixes this by giving the model an explicit 5-step protocol. Step 1, decompose, break the complex question into individual questions. In our example, that's A, is physiotherapy for sports injuries covered? B, what is the annual limit? C, is a referral needed? Step 2, retrieve. For each question, identify which chunks in the context are relevant. Not all chunks are relevant to all sub-questions. Step 3. Reason. Answer each sub-question independently using its specific context. Step 4. Synthesize. Now combine these sub-answers into one coherent response. 5. Step 5. Validate. Does the final answer actually address the original question completely? Did we miss anything? Now notice the output format. There is a reasoning block that the users never sees. This is the model scratch paper, and then there is a final answer with citation. The hidden reasoning block is a game changer. It gives the model space to think without cluttering the user facing response in enterprise settings, legal contracts, multi policy, insurance queries, technical documentation, and the spam multiple manuals. Then this pattern is absolutely essential. Next up, we are crossing into the agentic AI territory with pattern 4. Now we are entering the agentic AI section. The pattern 4 is where it all begins. This is the agentic router. Here is the fundamental problem with most AI applications. They use one prompt for everything. Whether the user is asking a factual question, requesting an analysis, asking you to write something, or trying to trigger an action, it all goes through the same system pattern. That's like having one employee who handles customer support, inquiry, accounting, engineering, marketing, etc. Sure, they can do an okay job at all of them, but they never be a great at any of them. Agentic router fixes this by adding an intent classification step before anything else happen. Look at the routing table in the prompt. If user ask what is our refund policy, that's factual. Route it to the RAG agent which uses pattern 1 through 3 we just covered. If the user asks compared last quarter performance of to the this quarter, that's analytical. Route it to reasoning agent that has a different system prompt optimized for analysis and comparison. If user asks draft an email to client about a delay, that's creative. Route it generation agent. If user asks update the ticket status to resolve that action, route it to tool use agent that can call APIs. And if the query is ambiguous, the router send it to a clarification agent that asks follow-up question instead of guessing. Now here is why this matter for production. It gives you serious money. In my deployment, this pattern reduced token cost by 40%. Why? Because a factual question doesn't need the heavy reasoning chain from pattern 3. And an analytical question might not need RAG retrieval at all. You stop paying for computation you don't need. To build this in practice, I recommend LangGraph or semantic kernel for the orchestration layer. The router itself is a lightweight, fast model call. You can even use a smaller model like GPT-4o mini or just the routing step. Let's look. The pattern 5 is the guardrail enforces that if you are building anything for a regulated industry, banking, healthcare, insurance, legal, this is non-negotiable. You will need this pattern. Here is the architecture. Your main agent generates a response, but before the response reaches the user, it passes through a separate guardrail agent whose only job to validate and if necessary correct the output. Look at the validation checklist. 5 checks, each one returning pass or fail. Check 1. Grounding. Is every claim in the response actually supported by the provided source? This catches any hallucination but slipped through. Check 2. PII check. For it's a personal information checking. Did the model accidentally leak any personal information, email address, phone number, government ID. You have to be surprised how often this happen when your knowledge base content documents with personal data. Check 3. Scope. Did the response stays within the authorized topic boundaries? If your chatbot is for HR policies questions, it shouldn't be giving investment advice even if the user asks nicely. Check for tone. Is the language professional and non speculative? Did the model say I think or probably when it should be stating fact? Check 5 format. Does the output match the expected schema? If downstream system expect JSON, you need JSON, not friendly paragraph. Now here is the critical design decision. Look at the rule. If any check fails, return the corrected response with validation fixed. Never surface the failing version. Sorry. This means the guardrail agent doesn't just flag problems, it fixes them. The user never sees a bad response. The original gets silently corrected. When I was working on GenAI deployment at client side, every single model output went through a guardrail layer like this. And Azure OpenAI, you can combine this prompt level guardrail with Azure AI content safety for defense in depth. The content filter catches the obvious stuff and this agent catches the domain specific. The content filter catches the obvious stuff and this agent catches the domain specific issues. Moving on to the pattern 6. Pattern 6 is one of the most RAG tutorials completely ignore, and it's a huge missed opportunity. I call it the adaptive retrieval tuner. Here is what most RAG system do. User asks a question, you take that question, you run it through vector search, you get back the top k chunks, you pass them to the LLM. One strategy for every single query, and that's like using a hammer every job. Think about it. If someone asks how does every our company handles remote work request, that's semantic conceptual question. Vector search is the perfect for this because it captures the meaning even if the documents use different words. But if someone asks what is the stats of the ticket incident number 4872 example, that's the exact match query. Vector search might actually perform worse here because it is looking for semantic similarity when you need a keyword precision. And if someone asks compare our 2023-2024 remote work policy, now you need both. You need semantic understanding to find policy documents and you need keyword matching to distinguish the years. The adapter retrieval tuner sits before you retrieve the step and analyze the query to choose the optimal strategy. 5 strategies: vector search for conceptual question, keyword search for exact terms, codes, IDs, hybrid for complex queries that need both, rewrite and retry for ambiguous query. This is one of the powerful balance because it generates 3 reformulation of our vague query and searches with all of them and multi-index when the question span multiple knowledge base. If you are using Azure AI search, this maps directly to the search mode parameter. You can switch between vector semantic, keyword and hybrid search or a per query basis. The agent just need to output which model to use. The read, write and retry strategy is especially game changing when a user asks something vague like what about the thing from last week meeting. Instead of returning garbage result, the agent rewrites it into 3 specific queries and try all of them. Let's jump pattern 7. This is where things get really exciting. Pattern 7, the tool use orchestrator. This is the heart and soul of agentic AI. If you have used function calling with GPT or Claude, you have already done basic tool use. You define some function and the model decide when to call them. You execute the function, pass the result back, it works. But in production, basic function calling falls apart. The model calls tools isn't it doesn't need it makes 15 API calls when 3 would do. It doesn't handle error gracefully. It calls a write operation when you only wanted a read. The tool or use orchestrator solve this by adding a structure to tool use, and the key innovation is in those 5 execution rule. Rule 1: plan before executing. Before the agent makes a single tool call, it is to write out its execution plan. I need to first search the knowledge base for X, then use the result to the query database Y, and the finally calculate Z. The planning step alone prevent 80% of wasteful tool calls. Rule 2: use the minimum tool need. This is about cost efficiency. Every tool call cost time and potential money. Rule 3: if a tool fails, try one alternative approach, not 5, not 10, one. This prevents the infinite retry loop that plague production agents. Rule 4, and this is critical: never call destructive operations. Your agent should never be able to delete data, drop tables, and send email without explicit human approval. We will cover the more that more is more in the pattern 10. Rule 5: chain result. The output of one tool can be the input to another. Search the knowledge base, take the document IDs and use them the query the database, take those numbers and run the calculation. In LangGraph, this maps perfectly to React pattern. Reason, act, observe, repeat. This plan block is reason step. The tool calls are act step, and synthesis is where you observe and conclude. The before and after contrast here is the stark. You have help tools help the user. That's receipt for runaway agents and surprise bill API bills. Pattern 8 is the next. Memory management. Pattern 8 is the conversation memory manager, and it is what separates a toy chatbot from a real production agent. Here is the problem everyone hits. Your agent worked great for a first few turn of conversation, but by turn 15 or 20 it returns forgetting what you discussed earlier. It contradicts itself. It asks question. The user already answers. The it loses the thread or what it was supposed to be doing. Why? Because the most people handle memory the lazy way. The dump the entire chat history into context window and say continue. That's like studying for an exam by rereading your entire textbook every time someone asks you a question. It wastes tokens, it confuses the model, and it eventually overflow the context window. Fixed the fix is structured memory 4 tiers, just like how human memory actually works. Tier 1: working memory. This is the current task. What is the agent actively trying to do right now? If it is filling out the form, the partially completed form is working memory. Tier 2: short term memory. This is the summary of the recent conversation, not the full transcript. The last and turn compress into a key points. Keep it under 500 token. This gives the model enough context to maintain coherence without blowing up the context window. Tier 3: long term memory. This persists access session, the user name, their preferences, their department, past decision they have made. This is what makes the agent feel like it actually knows. Tier 4: episodic memory. Specific past interactions that are relevant to the current task. Not all past interaction, just the ones that matter right now. In land graph, this maps beautifully to the persistent layer, working the short term memory use checkpoints within a session. Long term memory uses a persistent store. Base store that a database backend. Episodic memory is a retrieval over past conversation summary. The memory rules are just an as important as structure. Rule 2 is key. Use working memory for the current task. Don't drift. Without this, the agent gets distracted by long term memories that are interesting by irrelevant. Two more pattern to go. Let's move the evaluation. Pattern 9, the evaluation and the self critic agent. This is how you close the quality loop and build a system that actually get better over time. Here is how it works in practice. Your main agent generates a responses. Before that responses goes to the user, and after it passes the guardrails from pattern 5, it goes through this evaluation agent. The evaluator scores the responses on 5 weight dimensions. Accuracy gets the highest weight at 30%. Are all claims grounded in the provided score? This is the most important thing. If the facts are wrong, nothing else matter. Completeness at 25%. Did the responses address all parts of the question? Remember our insurance example from pattern 3? Did we cover the coverage, the limit, and the referral requirement? Clarity at 20%. If the response well structured, easily to understand and actionable, a technical correct answer that nobody can understand is useless. Consciousness at 50%. No filter, no repetition, no padding. Users don't want a 5 pattern essay when 2 sentence will do. Citation at 10%. Are source properly referenced so the user can verified. Now here is the key design decision. The threshold. I set it in at 3.5 out of 5. Below that, the evaluator doesn't just flag the problem. It generate specific improvement instruction. The responses misses the annual coverage limit mentioned at on the page 4 of the benefit document and the information. Those information instructions get appended to the original prompt and the main agent regenerates. This creates an automatic quality loop. Generates, evaluate, improve it until it passes the threshold. In production, log every evaluation score. Over time, you will see the patterns. Maybe accuracy is consistent, high, but completeness is low. That tells you your retrieval is good, but the prompt needs better instruction about addressing all sub questions. That's insights you cannot get any other way. And here is the bonus. This is same scoring rubric applied to a test set of questions. Answer pair is how you build automated evaluation for your RAG pipeline. Some pattern to uses real time quality assurance and offline pipeline. Final pattern coming up, and it is the one of that makes or break enterprise deployment. And finally, pattern 10, the one I consider the most important pattern of the enterprise agentic AI, a human in loop checkpoints. Let me blunt. If you deploy a autonomous agent in the production without this pattern, you are going to have a very bad day. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually your agent will do something unexpected and costly, and you wish you had guardrails. I have seen it happen. An agent that was supposed to send a status update email instead of sending a client facing email with internal pricing information. An agent that was supposed to query a database ran an update statement. That these are not hypothetical. These are real production incident. The fixes is 4-tier autonomy framework. Level 1 auto. The agent can do this without asking read operations, searches, calculation, things that have zero side effect. If reading data cannot break anything, let the agent read freely. Level 2 inform. The agent can do this but it has to tell the user it did. Summarization, reformatting, analysis, low risk actions where the user should be aware but does not need to approve. Level 3, confirm the agent. The agent must ask before doing this, sending email, updating record, writing to API, anything that's changing the state in the outside world. The agent proposes the action, show the risk assessment, tell whether it reversible, and wait for approval. Level 4, escalate, full stop, hand it to a human. Financial decision, policy expectation, edge cases. The agent doesn't even propose an action. It says this is beyond my authority and route to the human operator. Look at the checkpoint format at the bottom of the prompts. When an agent hits a level 3 action, it shows exactly what it wants to do, why it is risky, and whether you can undone it. This gives the human through information to make a quick decision. In LangGraph, this maps directly to the interrupt before pattern. You define which tool, call trigger, can interrupt the graph, pauses execution, wait for human input, and resume once now approved. The autonomy levels I showed you here are calibrated from my experience deploying an financial institution. Level 4 is non-negotiable in bank. No AI agent should be making financial decision autonomously. Period. And here is the beautiful thing. You can just adjust these levels as you build trust. Maybe after a month of monitoring, you move certain email types from level 3 to level 2. Your system get more autonomous over time, but always with explicit boundaries. Let's wrap up with the big picture. Alright, let's bring it all together. We covered 10 production ready deployment pattern, organized these three tiers. Foundation, pattern 1 through 3. The context window architect gives your RAG system structure. The hallucination firewalls prevent the model from making things up, and the multi-hop reasoning chain handles complex questions and that span multiple documents. These three pattern alone will get your rack from work in demos to the works in production. Agentic routing, pattern 4 through 6. The agentic router classification intent and send queries to the specialized agent. The guardrails enforce validates every output before it reaches users. And the adaptive retrieval turner dynamically select the best search strategy per query. The patterns transform your system from basic QA bot into intelligent self routing application. Production pattern 7 through 10. The tool uses orchestrators, add structured tool calling with pattern, with planning and safety constraint. The conversation memory gives your agent tried memory that actually scales the evaluation. Agent close the quality with quantitative scoring, and the human in the loop checks more, makes more everything enterprise safe for with 4 tier autonomy framework. Here is what I want you to do right now. First, save this video. You are going to want to come back to these template when you are actually building. Second, start the pattern 1. Don't try implement all 10 ones. Get your context window architecture right, and you will immediately see the quality improvement. Third, if you found this valuable, share it with your team. These patterns compounded. One engineer using them is good, and a whole team using them consistently transformational. Drop a comment below and let me know which pattern you are going to implement first. I read every comment, and if you want to go deeper on any specific pattern implementation, the LangGraph orchestration, the evaluation pipeline, let me know and I'll create dedicated. And if you want to go deeper on any specific pattern implementation, the LangGraph orchestration, the evaluation pipeline, let me know and I will create a dedicated deep dive video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post hand on Gen AI content every week. No fluff, no theory, just pattern that ship. Thanks for watching. I am Mayank Chugh and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.